Welcome to What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande, and today we're smoking some Cornish hens on the Traeger. That's right, we're going to be smoking some Cornish hens on the Traeger grill. We're using two kinds of rubs. We're using the Traeger rub and the Kine Hawaiian rub. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's What's in the Pot. Thank you very much for tuning into What's in the Pot. So for our recipe today, I'm starting with two Cornish hens I got from my local grocery store. We're going to be spatchcocking these Cornish hens. And the one thing we want to do is once we cut it up the middle, we press down and that flattens it out. That flattens the chest bone out. Now I left the backbone in. You can go ahead and remove it out. It's really up to you. The first bird, I'm using my binder. This is a Kine mustard hot sauce. It has that mustard flavor. It has a little bit of the sweetness because it's made with pineapple juice and a little bit of that heat, so it's perfect to start as your bind. Instead of using regular mustard, you can go ahead and use this. Definitely worth a try. Shout out to the Kine folk me up with their rubs and sauces, and I'm going to start with their original rub, and I'm actually using two kinds of dry rubs on this. I'm starting with their original rub, and then they also have a spicy rub. It's not very spicy, has a little bit of that smokiness, which is going to go well because when we pop these in the Traeger, I'll be smoking these on that hickory wood pellet. So once we season up this one, we're going to hit it up on both sides. Make sure both sides get that seasoning, get all that dry rub kind of soaked in there because we're going to be marinating these overnight. So go ahead and just kind of get all the dry rub into it, work it into the meat because we want to make sure that we get all that flavor in. Now for this one, I'm doing a binding of just olive oil. I'm just brushing the chicken with some olive oil, and we're going to start with some of that Traeger rub, and then we're going to go in with the pork and poultry. I love the Traeger pork and poultry flavor. I don't know, it has a little bit of sweetness, has a little bit of heat, but it's just perfect. For me, that's like one of my favorite dry rubs. So on the other side, brush it down with a little bit of olive oil, and then go ahead and add your dry rubs. Now let's go ahead and get these all ready to go into the fridge. I'm putting them in Ziploc bags individually, and then we're gonna leave these in the fridge overnight. And it's approximately maybe about 8 hours later. We're gonna go ahead and pop these on the grill. I have my Traeger setting at 225 degrees with hickory pellets in there. Now normally you can pop these on right there. It already has a flavor and it has lots of seasoning, but now I'm going to be covering it back with the same dry rubs we used yesterday. And now this is where you want to just liberally put on as much dry rub so it covers every part of the bird. The bird on the right, I actually use both the Kine dry rubs on it. The one on the left, I'm only using the Traeger pork and poultry before we go ahead and pop that on the grill. Now you can see that beautiful color on the chicken. What I did was I went ahead and let that sit for 30 minutes after I put that last set of dry rub on. Now we're gonna let these smoke at 225 for 2 hours. Now I'm also gonna be using the super smoke setting for 1 hour. If you don't have the super smoke setting on your ironwood or on your Traeger grill or any of your pellet grills that you're using, go ahead and let it smoke for 2 hours and 25 minutes. Now the sauce I'm going to be using is the Kine Hawaiian barbecue sauce. I'm just going to go ahead and use that and brush that onto the chicken. After 2 hours, I bumped up the temperature to 350 degrees. And once the chicken started reaching about 145 degrees internally, I'm going to start basting the one on the right with our Kine Hawaiian barbecue sauce. The one on the left, we're just keeping it with the dry rub. We're not going to go ahead and be putting any barbecue sauce on that. This is the chicken at about 170 degrees, 165 degrees internal temperature at the chicken breast. That's our final product. Look at the color, man. Look at the color on this one is the one with the Traeger dry rub seasoning. The one on the right is with the Kine Hawaiian seasoning. So shout out to the Kine Hawaiian and shout out to Traeger for sending over those dry rubs for me to try out. Let's give it a quick cut and take a look into this. But thank you very much for tuning into What's in the Pot. I hope you like, share, and subscribe this video with your friends and family. This is the perfect meal for any day of the week. Look at that color, man. Look at that skin. It's nice and crispy. It's not dry. It's not rubbery. Look at all that sauce. Peace.